Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Undefeated channel. It is time to wake up and Barca. We got ourselves a late afternoon edition here. We're going to be covering whatever Ansu Fati's father is rambling on about. We'll discuss GAVI finding himself in the headlines for the wrong reasons. Plus, Barcelona may have found themselves the first summer signing. A new center back could be joining the Blaugrana here in the summer. So we're going to be discussing all that and more on Wake Up in Barca. If this is your first time joining us, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can be part of the conversation while we discuss all the Barcelona headlines, have a little bit of caffeine, no matter what time of day it is, have some good conversation with each other, catch up, start our day in a positive way. What we do here on the channel. We support the badge, we support each other. Go ahead and drop a like while we get things going. And with that out of the way, let's kick things off the right way, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the undefeated Mustache John.
All right. Hello, my friends. I see we got Ryan. I see we got Lore. Greg says, good evening, John. A very happy Scotland fan today. Yes, apparently Scotland, I believe, who did you beat? Spain, was it? Let me look that up, make sure I'm not wrong about that. I've been a busy boy today. Let's see the results. Yes, I was correct. Whoop, hang on, let me turn that off. Avoid the mistakes. Scotland with the big 2-0 win. McTominay getting the double. Are you kidding me? What happened there, Greg? Wow. Spain dominating in possession, 75%, 661 passes. My goodness. What were the lineups like? No excuses for Spain. I mean, not their A squad, but come on now. You got players like GAVI coming off the bench, Nico Williams. That's plenty of firepower for Spain. You should be doing better there. Ay. Shout out to Scotland. Well done. Shout out to Greg there. Says GAVI was left on the bench. Looks like he got a little bit of time there, perhaps. GAVI came in at some point. Anyway, folks, we're not here to talk about Spain and Scotland, although congrats to you, Greg. Happy for you, brother. Let's talk a little bit about Ansu Fati's father. We're going to quote Fabrizio Romano's Twitter account here. It says, Ansu Fati's father, Bori, ask Xavi why he's not playing Ansu. I don't have any answer. Xavi wants him to work hard, and he is. I feel disappointed as a father. I just say give him an opportunity. Should we forget about Ansu Fati now? No, we shouldn't forget about Ansu Fati, but bro, open your eyes. He hasn't been performing. Left wing, striker, Xavi's giving him opportunities, okay? Even if it's just 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, it's better than nothing. You got to do something with that time. Bori Fati continues. He says, when Barca were much worse than they are now, they forced Ansu Fati to come back from injury to play. They used to want Ansu to make the people happy again. Now that he's 100% fit and ready, nobody wants Ansu. Did he forget to play football or what? That's an excellent question. Bori. Nobody knows. He lost his spark. He lost that magic. I'm not saying he can't get it back. I'm not saying there's not a flash of it being there here and there, but we're not seeing it like we were pre-injuries. All right, so I don't know what happened to Ansu. We gave him the number 10. He does put smiles on faces. Most culés still believe in Ansu Fati. However, those tides are turning. The numbers are dipping. People are starting to lose faith. So, question for those watching on replay, let me know down in the comments. Where are you at on the Ansu Fati situation? Should he stay? Should he go? Is it a time for a loan, perhaps? Who would have thought? Our number 10. Someone who we thought would be the golden boy. Turns out it's GAVI. Turns out it's Pedri. Before those two, it was Ansu Fati. Yet here we are, discussing, will he stay? Will he go? Who knows? So let me know. I'll turn to the chat, see what people are thinking, see how we're feeling. Again, if you're watching on TikTok and you want the full experience, swipe over, click the link in my bio. That'll get you over to YouTube, where these fine people are watching. Excuse me. Take a little sip of coffee, clear my throat here. That's nice. How we doing, friends? How we feeling? What are your thoughts on this Ansu Fati situation? And Bori Fati chirping away, running his mouth, giving big opinions here. Lori says, thankfully, he's still set to start versus Elche, apparently. Are we talking about Ansu Fati? There are reports that he's looking likely to start out on that left wing. Greg asks, do you reckon part of Ansu's mind is scared in case he suffers another injury? It's a good question to ask. I really don't know, but there's something going on. There's something that's missing from Ansu Fati. I don't know if he's too in his head. I don't know if he's not actually physically fit yet. It seems like he's playing with training wheels. You know, I'm unsure of Ansu Fati at this point, we'll say. Laura says, I think a loan would do him some good. I agree. I hate to think that we're going to loan out our number 10. It's not a good look for the club, but we can loan him out, get a not just physically fit, but mentally fit and a match fit Ansu Fati in return. Maybe. Who knows? That left wing is up for debate, we'll say. We got Abde coming back, which is fantastic. But we got to have some competition out there. And who knows if Abde is the solution. I have some faith that it is, but we'll see. We need to figure out what we're doing on the left wing there. Nima, how we doing? Good to see you. Yara says we should keep him because it'll be painful to let him go and he shines later. I agree. I think it would be maybe a little bit too soon, maybe a little bit too harsh to let him go at this point. And high potential of him regaining some of that spark that we know and love. So I'm with you on maybe being hesitant on a full sale of Ansu Fati. I think a loan might make sense, but we'll see. I think we see out the rest of the season. I think we wait and see what a summer break does. And then when he returns for Barcelona, I think we got to be ready to make a quick decision on whether it's a loan or is he going to be competing for that left wing spot. That's the criteria. Excuse me. Greg says a loan would probably do him a world of good. I think it depends on where, but yes, good potential there. Good potential for Ansu Fati. I mean, some of it is the expectations, folks. You got to realize some of this is that young kid debuting at 16 years old, given the number 10, a lot of expectations, a lot of pressure. Hard to meet. But some of this is the injuries. Some of this is very obviously on Ansu Fati. So we just gotta wait and see, folks. Try to be patient. You know, I'm with the chat here. It would definitely hurt to see Ansu Fati go, particularly if he does have a turnaround in his career. But if you look back, there's been a number of players. Bojan Krkic, of course, is the biggest one. Started out hot, young phenom, but then doesn't actually come into fruition. They don't all turn out to be Lionel Messi, you know what I'm saying? Jamel says, I really hope Des can make it back into the squad. I feel like he wasn't given enough chances under Xavi. Yeah, I want to be with you on that one, but hasn't proven himself at Milan. Didn't do enough under Xavi. It's not looking good for Des. I'm thinking might be back to MLS, might be maybe Bundesliga, might make some sense for him. I could see him going somewhere like France or Turkey. He's got to find somewhere that's a step down from top flight football, I think. I don't think Des can really hang at that level, unfortunately. Yeah. Anyway, folks, I see some debate going on in the chat. Anyway, we'll turn and set our sights now on the young GAVI, which apparently the Spanish media is also doing because he's been a naughty boy. The RFEF aren't happy with the way GAVI's behaved during international duty. There are several acts, but the one that generated the most tension was him refusing to show up for an autograph event in Malaga, in which several players had to attend. GAVI was one of those players chosen, but he said he needed to rest because of headaches. Another player had to replace him before the RFEF furiously forcing him to attend anyway. Not a good look for GAVI. Who knows what this is about? All right. there can be all kinds of media attacks. There can be all kinds of conspiracies around these rumors. Or it's a young kid acting a little stubborn, acting like a young kid. You've seen it on the American side with the Gio Reyna, some behavior problems, we'll say. Maybe we're seeing that with Gavi. I mean, we're talking about a guy who dives headfirst at a ball that's rolling on the ground while somebody else is trying to kick it. Okay? Might he have some behavior problems? Maybe. Maybe. Get over it, Spain. Get over it. This one doesn't worry me. Okay? As long as he's not doing it for club, it's whatever. Will it damage his brand? Will it damage his reputation? Will it hurt his chances on the national team? He can toe that line. You can get away with some bad behavior here and there. You just don't want to be, you don't want to go over the top. All right. But this really doesn't concern me. I'm not worried about Gavi's behavior. He's a sweet little angel for Barcelona. He bleeds Blaugrana. I got no concerns for this guy in terms of his behavior spilling over into Barcelona's locker rooms. I got no problem with it. So maybe some of that is because of the new leadership under Spain. Maybe Gavi's not happy about it. Maybe he's not happy with the fact that no other Barcelona players were called up with him. Some of that, again, due to injury. But Gavi, I believe, was the lone representative for Barcelona for Spain here. So, interesting, we'll say. We'll say it's interesting. Interesting. What do we think about Gavi, though? Are we concerned? Is it on your radar at all? Is it a red flag? Let me know down in the comments if you're watching this on replay, of course. And again, TikTokers, how we doing? Come join us over on YouTube. Get the full experience. Swipe over. Click the link in my bio. That'll get you over to YouTube where these fine folks are. And everybody watching, make sure you drop a like if you're enjoying the content. I do appreciate the love and support. And that's the easiest way to show it. Drop a like, share, subscribe, all those things. All those things. Yera, excuse me. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with that. Yera says, I heard Gavi has been registered now. Yes, registered, but under the number 30, unfortunately. And actually, let's jump over to Barcelona's website and see what they have for Barcelona right now. Oh my gosh, fine. I accept the cookies. Leave me alone. First team players. See if they got Gavi as number 30 again. Oh, Barca still has him as number 6. Barca still's got him at number 6. But that's Barcelona's website. So I wonder if we do La Liga website, Barcelona players registered. I wonder what we get. Maybe this. Maybe this. Here we go. Okay, this is... I don't... Get these cookies out of here. I reject your cookies. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. What do we got? Brrr. Drum roll, please. Gavi, where you at? Oh! Oh, that hurts. There it is, folks. Gavi, back to being number 30 on Spain's website. Ugh. Do people who who purchased Gavi's jersey number 6, do they get a refund now? Is that what's going to happen? Little smudge on this camera. Anyway, sorry about that. Sidebar. Bummer. That is a bummer. You don't want to see that. Feels like a demotion, right? I mean, it shouldn't. It shouldn't affect anything, but it hurts a little bit. Hurts a little bit. Thomas, how we doing, sir? Coming in saying ANSU over Ferran. That's probably a fair opinion. I think most culés right now would say if you're going to give up one, give up Ferran Torres. Although Ferran Torres has actually been more productive than Ansu Fati. That's why. It's goals and assists. Just saying. So you got to consider that. But I hear you. I hear you, folks. I hear you when you say Ansu Fati over Ferran. Nima says, we'll miss out on Roque. I'm kind of sure after his father's European tour. Listen, I think we got to let go of the idea of making any big signings. I mean, we do have a potential announcement here. I'm going to jump over and share some news from Pablo Wolves Blanco, the most trusted source on the internet. Says, looks like the signing of Inigo Martinez is wrapped up for Barcelona. Overall, very pleased with this transfer. I think it's a very good addition at center back for free. A la Christensen, Strong player, good at bringing the ball out of the back, tough competitor. I think he'll do well. Good start, says Pablo. Shout out to Pablo. Shout out to the Engine Room podcast. Words. It's been a long day already. This is why we usually start off in the morning, folks. Anyway, me, Pablo, Buga Luis, Engine Room podcast. Monday, we release it on Spotify. We release it on YouTube. We talk about the wide world of football, not just Barcelona. So make sure you do check us out. But Pablo brings up a good piece of news here. Inigo Martinez. What do we think? Is it a good signing, number one? And number two, who's out? Will it be Alonso? Will it be Garcia, who may be shown the door? Alonso did just sign a new contract, so I don't think it's going to be him. Garcia, the younger, of course, has better market value. Whew. So, is this the end of Eric Garcia? I guess that's really the question. Does Martinez coming in mean the end of Eric Garcia? What do we think? Laura says there's more to Gavi not just being registered as a first-team player, and then the shirt change. Yes, he and Araujo, both of their new contracts need to actually be registered. So there could be a disaster for Barcelona if we don't figure some stuff out. So that's a good point there. Greg says Inigo played in the Spain game last night. To be honest, he was dreadful and all over the place. The Scottish attackers had him on toast. I'll say I've never been uber impressed. I mean, Athletic Club, they've given us some tough competitions over the last few years. So there is that. Whatever. He'll be our fourth center back, you guys. So this is not going to push us over the line in terms of getting a Champions League title or anything like that. He's going to essentially slide in and fill the spot for Eric Garcia. So it'll go Araujo, Christensen, Koundé if we find another center back, Alonso, Inigo Martinez. He'll be fourth or fifth center back for us. So I'm not too concerned about it, folks. It's not, I would say, listen, good piece of business if you ask me, but also I'll say, like I said, it's not going to push us over the line in terms of Champions League contention. A couple more pieces of news here to get into. Oh, really just the... yeah, I guess we'll talk about both. About both. İlkay Gündoğan, Barcelona, looking at him, says we potentially have an agreement, and the club would have already closed his signing, but till now he has not accepted the clause that would allow him to leave on loan in case he's not registered, which of course is a concern for Barcelona. We got to be paying attention to that. We've had a few issues with with registering new signings. So the fact that Gündoğan is not willing to be loaned out to somebody makes sense. Got to do what's right for him. I don't hate him for it. Got to do what you got to do. So if he does make it to Barcelona, I guess the question is, where do you see him playing? He's not really a defensive mid. I wouldn't really call him box to box either. He's actually been playing more of an attacking role, a false nine at times for Man City there. So does he slide in like a GAVI left wing, left attacking mid role? Does he play box to box like a Frankie de Jong? Do we try him out at a defensive mid pivot role? Where do you see Gündoğan sliding in here if he does make it over to Barcelona? What do we think, folks? Excuse me. Greg says coming a little bit too late in his career. That's a fair point. Although I will shout out players like a Thierry Henry, who came over, capped their career off at Barcelona. Much appreciated. Nima says we need someone like Gündoğan. When Pedri's out injured, we suck. Fair point. I think we could use a little bit of depth in the midfield. Greg says 5 years ago, yes, but he's on the wrong side of 30. Fair points. I'm seeing both sides of the arguments here. Harry, how we doing, sir? Glad you could make it. Good to see you. We are discussing Gundogan here and whether he'll actually fit in at Barcelona or not. I'm kind of curious. I mean, I think if we were back to a midfield three, it's Frankie, Gavi, Pedri. If we're doing a midfield four, you throw in Busquets. So I don't think Ilkay replaces any of those players. If Busquets leaves, then Ilkay could maybe be a fourth midfielder, but I don't know. Gundogan or Franck Kessié. Right now, Kessié, El Clasico match winner. You're not going to bench him over Ilkay. So does Ilkay... Let's say Busquets stays. Okay, so Frankie, Pedri, Gavi, Busi. Is Ilkay fifth? Or is he sixth behind Kessié? Where would you rank him with current Barcelona midfielders? That's another question for the chat. If you're watching it on replay, let me know. What do we think? Kelly, how we doing? Good to see you. Harry says, lovely to see you. For me, it's the wrong side of 30. I don't see him being a great free transfer because he won't get playing time. Greg says, Kessié has more potential to grow. And Harry agrees. I'm probably leaning that way as well. I mean, listen, if we can pick him up for free and he slides in with a reasonable salary and it doesn't prevent us from making other signings, then okay, I'd welcome him. But I agree with you. He'd probably still be sixth, particularly if Busquets stays. If Busquets leaves and he's our fifth midfielder, all of a sudden, maybe we need that, right? Nico also coming back, you got to factor that in as well. But Nico not having a great season for Valencia and actually ended up getting injured. So we'll see. It would be, I would say, an interesting piece of business if it ends up happening. I'll say that. An interesting piece of business. Laura says, if Busquets goes, then I'm all for getting him as long as it doesn't break the bank. I think that sums it up. I think if Busquets leaves, Gundogan makes sense. If not, I'm not sure he makes sense. Speaking of doesn't make sense, seems like every day there is another headline. Somebody in Messi's circle had some conversation with Lionel Messi. Somebody has an opinion. Somebody has a thought. Somebody can give a percentage chance, a 7 out of 10, a 50% chance. Here's the latest. Barca Buzz says, Lionel Messi talks regularly with Xavi, and Xavi knows that the doors, Lionel Messi talks regularly with Xavi and knows that the doors are always open. He would fit perfectly into the coach's plans. I disagree with that. I actually disagree with that. I think it would cause quite a disruption. Messi's wife and children are also looking forward to living in Barcelona again, but obviously the player himself would have the final word. A face-to-face meeting between Laporta and Messi is necessary. We've heard all that before. Xavi loves Messi. Messi contemplates returning to Barca as an attractive option. I can read, I promise. And recovering a cordial relationship with Laporta would be a matter of time, but it depends on the financial fair play margin that Barca would have, which is zero. Absolute zero, if not negative. So I think the fact that we have Ferran, well, we'll even discount Ferran. Let's just say we have Raphinha and Dembele, who both want to occupy that right wing. We have the problem of financial fair play. And we have the problem of Laporta still has yet to mend the relationship with Messi. I think for those four reasons, it's not going to happen. I'm not saying whether I want it to happen or not. I'm saying because we're loaded, not even loaded. We have two good options on the right wing because of the financial fair play. Even if he wants to play for $1 million a year, I don't know if we can do it. That's the state that we're in, folks. We got to be mindful. We'll see what Dembele is going to be like when he returns from injury. I know we got a while to go on that, actually. And if we hop over here, I think there's one more piece of news I want to cover here because there was somebody who kind of summed up our injuries right now. I think. Let me see. Do we have it? No, I think I must have just been making that up. Never mind. Let me see real quick here. Yeah. Podcast. Here we go. Okay, I knew there was something. Dembele, Christensen, and Pedri 100% ruled out for El Clasico. That is coming up on April 5th of next week. Araujo is available, and the big doubt remains whether De Jong will be ready. All these players, I shouldn't say all of them. Dembele and Pedri were already out, but Christensen and De Jong picking up injuries over international duty. And then Araujo picked up an injury in the last match before the break. So we're going to be limping in to the Camp Nou to take on Roberto. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to read and speak at the same time. Limping into the Camp Nou to take on Real Madrid are the words I'm trying to say. Caleb, how we doing, sir? Says, won't Messi's return disrupt the team? There's a high potential of that, I would say. It's definitely a concern of mine. Kelly says, if Messi comes back, it's both good and bad. Yes. I think there's no perfect solution, we'll say. Harry says, De Jong didn't even go to the international break. Annoyingly, he pulled out of the camp. Oh, didn't realize that. I guess I just assumed it was during a match. I don't pay much attention to some of those international breaks, but you don't want to see that. So Barcelona are going to have to piece it back together. We're going to have to get fit. Thankfully, we do have a pretty large lead in La Liga, but we want more than just La Liga. We want a Copa del Rey. We want a Supercopa. Let's get fit. Let's get healthy. Let's get our golden boys back on the pitch. Let's maybe see ANSU Fati end this season on a bang. That's what I'm hoping for, folks. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll get into a match preview for Elche coming up this weekend. We'll do that on Friday's episode of Wake Up in Barca. We'll talk about all that and more. Again, if you have enjoyed the content, don't be shy about smashing that like button. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on TikTok, swipe over, click the link in the bio. That'll get you over to the Undefeated Mustache John YouTube channel, where these fine folks are, the Stash Squad. My friends, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me. Harry and Greg and Caleb and Kelly and Yera and Lore. I appreciate y'all very much. Nima, of course. If I missed you, I apologize. I do appreciate everyone coming in and hanging out. I will see you all Friday morning for Wake Up and Barca. We'll cover a little match preview for Elche, like I said. Until then, go out there and have positive interactions, high fives, and hugs for whoever wants them. I love you all very much. I'll see you Friday for Wake Up in Barca. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking a ride. Mwah.